Hey, Bikeaholics, Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike. Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. All right, it is the announcement, guys. It's coming up quick. It is the Law Abiding Biker 2021 Ride and Meetup event. And that's going to be held on Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. You need to plan your day basically from 10 a.m., carve out a time from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We will meet, the ride will meet near Placerville, California in the morning. We're going to take you on a ride. We will head to a location where we'll have a late afternoon dinner and social event. You must be a patron member, mid-level or above, prior to March 29th, 2021. That's 3 months prior to the event, so we know that you're in and you're all in, and we got to vet you and all that kind of stuff. The deadline for sign-up for everybody is May 1st, 2021 at midnight. No exceptions. We can't, guys. We'll be allowed after that due to the planning purposes because it's a large event and there's a whole bunch of logistics involved, and we just have to have know a solid head count by that date. If you need lodging, simply get lodging in or around the Sacramento, California area or Placerville, California area. You'll be fine. You'll be able to make it to the meetup location and all that in plenty of time. Official sign-up form, there's only one place you can do it. That's over at lawabidingbiker.com/2021. The number is 2021 meetup. All one word there. So make sure, guys, you're going to get a welcome email after you sign up, giving you some details and stuff like that. It's really important that you check for the second email. They're often ending up in a junk spam email folder, and that is the email opt-in. We got to have you check for that email. So 2 emails. Check for that second one. You got to opt into that email list because that is the only way that we're going to be able to communicate with you and give you the finer details once you're vetted and we know you're going to be there. To exactly where you need to meet and all that kind of stuff, guys. So make sure you are on that email list, and that is growing. It's going to be a fabulous event. Want to ride longer? Tired of a sore and achy ass? Then fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full lineup of butt buffer seat cushions. Oh yeah, once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. And my special guest on the line with me here, I'm going to reveal him in a minute. He may need a butt buffer because he's likely going to get a sore and achy ass on his adventure here on what he's about to do. And we'll talk about that there in just a minute. All right, guys, let's get this thing kicked off. I do have a special remote guest on here with me. We'll reveal that in a minute. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the 99%. That's right, large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history by being here, by listening. You're part of what we call the hashtag Biker Revolution, guys. We do have just one question before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Mount up. Let me and my special guest take you on another wild ass ride. There you go, Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker podcast, and of course, your high-tech redneck. A couple things, guys, and we'll dive into the interview here. It's an event that you may want to get involved with. Really cool topic we got on deck here for you. New free video, I always mention them. We're cranking them out on the YouTube channel, and that is, it was a short documentary I did. I do some longer documentary films, but this was a short. It was actually pulled from one of my larger, but it's stranded in Wyoming on my Harley. And it is a little motorcycle documentary and how we didn't really get stranded, kind of, sort of, but it's fun, and it talks about the problem I had and the group and kind of how we handled that. It's a fun little documentary. You can get that, all my documentary films over at lawabidingbiker.com/ride-now. And we got the new Sturgis documentary 2020 up and going. You can find it over there too. That thing's blowing up. And thank you, everybody, for all your support. Of course, we love our sponsors up front. Love our sponsors. but these people also are direct result on why we're coming at you after 8 years. Continuing, guys, our patron members, some of our newest: Wayne Skinner of Richmond, Virginia; John Suster of LaGrange, Kentucky; James Faust of Olympia, Washington, right across the mountains from us there in Washington State. We got Rick Riley of Dayton, Ohio; Larry Brown of Elijah, Georgia; Paul Burnett of Orange, California; and we got Lee Peralt of Derry, New Hampshire; Rich Irwin of Shepherd, Texas; Scott Greenwald of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Finishing it off, Daniel Rodriguez of Las Vegas, Nevada; James Arnett of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Top tier, Rich Nerich, I believe is how you say it. He's also a top tier. That's right, guys. Get hooked up, guys. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. That's right. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits such as t-shirts, stickers. You get into that private Facebook group. It is a troll-free zone. You get access to episodes like this months before everybody else, access to live video broadcasts and chat. You can get access to those premium videos up on request. And of course, like we already mentioned, access to those very special ride, meetup, and events. All right, there you go. I do have my special guest on the line here with me, and I'll just introduce him here really quick. This is Ronald Moore, and I'll bring him on here in a minute. But basically, Ronald Moore reached out to me. He's doing a special event up front. It is the C2C PTSD ride. It's coming up. We're going to give you the details. I'm going to talk to him about why he's doing it and kind of his cause, and we'll talk about a little bit of a background. It's just a biker talk episode, guys. Bikers talking biker stuff, and we'll dial and see if you want to get involved in this event. So there we go. You're on, Ronald. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for being here, bud.
Oh, thanks, Ryan. Thanks for having me, brother.
Absolutely. So why don't you give me a little bit of background about yourself, what you're willing to reveal. We'll dive in a little bit deeper about maybe some of your work history and things like that, but just a basic background, where you're from right now and what you're up to.
Yeah, I'm currently right now. I'm not working. This is primarily my mission. I was in the military for 5 years, active duty. Got out then, and then became a paramedic. I was a paramedic here in Florida. Actually, about 45 minutes to an hour outside Daytona, right in the Central Florida area, about 15-20 minutes away from Leesburg. Many people are familiar with Leesburg Bike Fest. So, but, I started this C2C because of something that occurred to me back in November of 2019. I was ultimately pushed out of my job because of an episode that occurred, and it was a singular episode. It wasn't a reoccurring episode. And with that being said, many veterans and first responders, they go through PTSD issues, and especially as a veteran and a first responder, you're more than likely to have these, and it's not a singular episode. Mental health is going to have to be somehow put into care for our vets and our first responders. And that's why I'm trying to do this run. I'm trying to raise awareness for vets and first responders that, it's not just, everyone says, hey, it's here, but let's step up and let's do something about it. So that's what I'm doing. Actually on June 20th, I leave here in Leesburg and I set sail to Seattle, Washington. I'm doing it on my 2020 Softail Low Rider S. So I'm not even doing it on a bagger. So it's going to be fun, and I'm just trying to pick people up along the way. I've got legs on my website, and it's just me going on the bike, raising awareness, and just trying to, push out that, hey, it's not just these people, it's everybody. Don't suffer in silence. That's why I have the hat that says silence kills, because, the way I was treated, it's going to push a stigma that people don't want to talk about it because of a persecution aspect. And it needs to get out and be talked about so these people can actually be cared for and actually treated like heroes, not banished. They need the treatment. So, and that's what I'm trying to do. That's my end result, is to get people out there. If they need help, come to me. I've got many resources out there that and contacts where we can get you the help, And if you don't want to come to me, come to one of your local brothers or sisters, or just go get help. That's my biggest thing, is if I can help one veteran, one first responder, I've done what I can do. So.
Yeah, good. And so that's a good overview, basically. I'm going to back it up just a little bit because I love, and my audience loves learning about bikers and kind of your background and leading up to. And then I want to dive into some more. I want to get really detailed a little bit more about the event because I really did some research to try to break it down to make it really understandable. I filtered through and I understand it, but I want to make sure everybody else really understands what's going on here. So did you grow up riding motorcycles? Is that why you have a passion now, or did that come into play?
I grew up around motorcycles. My dad is always into bikes. I grew up around Harley dealerships. I really didn't start getting into riding until probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And that was actually to kind of help cope with some of my depression and my PTSD, and then I found, I got into bikes, my first bike was a Honda Shadow, and then in 4 years now I went from a Honda Shadow to a Road King to an Ultra Limited to now my Low Rider, so I've definitely gone up in my years, but, I've only been riding for about 5 years, but it's just been such a freeing experience for me that I know when I can get on the bike, I know that it's just me and the wind and everything's pushed away. So,
yeah, no. And I think that's a great thing. And we talk about that a lot here, and it is really my shrink too. And I think it is for a lot of riders is, and sometimes I just need to get out. And so even a short ride, you know what I mean? I'll get all cooped up here in the studio or, get anxious and stuff like that. And just getting out, I think it honestly is, I think, the best shrink in the world. Honestly, I think, yeah, right. I think that's kind of the community and what we all believe. And you're kind of taking it to the next level on that, which is really cool. So you got into riding. Did somebody introduce it, or did you just like, I'm going to get on a bike because it looks fun?
Well, I kind of started riding a little bit when I was a kid, because my dad was he was in an MC called Spirit Riders, and one of the guys had a little Honda Rebel. And he's like, hey, if you want to go out and take it around in the yard and, go do it, I went out there and was just riding this Honda Rebel out and around the yard, and that's when I kind of got bit by the bug, but I just was never able to really make that purchase until, about that time. And then that passion, obviously, that little Shadow grew into what it is now. So.
And what you went from an Ultra Limited, you said, to you got what year is the Low Rider S?
It's a 20.
Oh, wow. You got a brand new one. Did you just buy that right in 20?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice. So so from Ultra Limited comfort to Low Rider, because I have a Low Rider S too. It's a 2016, but definitely not.
I liked my bagger, but it just wasn't me. I felt the comfort and all that, but I tried to personalize it as much as I could. But after all I could, it's like, it's just not me. And then, my dad actually works at the dealership, and he's like, hey, we got this Low Rider S, I think it'd be good for you. And I was like, oh yeah, that's mine. So. Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, each to their own. That's cool. No, I'm just like, I'm thinking, man, that we're going to talk about the ride you're going to do on that thing. That's next level. Cause I have several bikes, and there's my ones for like that for short distance. And then, but I think I'm a lot older than you too. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just older. Okay. So you talked a little bit about 5 years active duty Air Force veteran. I also want to mention a member of the U.S. Air Force Presidential Honor Guard. That's very cool. By the way, thanks for serving. We heavily, if you're a listener of the podcast, we heavily support our military and veterans, law enforcement, first responders. So I always like to thank you for your service. Now, in 2019, I'm just going off some of your bio stuff. 2019, basically, let's talk about this a little bit before we get into your cause, because to me, somebody like you is, you were forced to basically make a change in your life, whether wanted or not wanted. And it usually, all good causes start because of an incident or something like that, and you felt it necessary. So in 2019, can you talk about that? You were basically because I think it's important. You're dealing with PTSD and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, in 2019, I ran a call, and it was one of my triggers, and obviously I can't go in depth because of HIPAA and all that kind of stuff. But I ran a call. Patient didn't know what was going on. No one really knew what was going on until after the call. Called my supervisor, said, "Hey, I got to go home. Can't, have an anxiety attack. Can't really do this." They're like, "Okay, cool. Are you okay? Whatever." I went home. I think I went home for maybe 4 to 5 hours. After about 5 hours, I was like, you know what? Someone's going to get hit with mandatory, and I don't want that. I don't want someone to have to work more hours because I'm out. Let me go ahead. I'm good. I'm fine. I've calmed down. Went back to work. I actually ended up working 24 hours after going back, after missing 5 hours after that incident. And then went to work another Wednesday, Thursday. They mandatoried me for 12 hours, so 36-hour shift. And then that following Monday, I found out, I got called into HR and said, "Hey, by the way, because you went home for 4 hours that last Saturday, you're going to be going for a fit for duty evaluation." I was like, "But you've already been working. You're going on administrative leave right now." Well, okay, this is right before Thanksgiving. So my mind's going through, well, hell, what am I going to do for all these holidays? This is rough. And I was like, "But you've already been working me for a week. Now you're telling me I can't work. You don't feel I can work, but you've already worked me a week, but whatever." So I go to this psychologist, and unfortunately they wouldn't let me go to my VA physicians that I've actually been getting treatment for over the past 4 or 5 years. It's actually familiar with what was going on. I didn't even have any incidences after that issue. It was pretty much done and over with, and the rest of the week was fine. No problems. And so they sent me there. The doctor apparently said I was unfit for duty. So after that, it was the week of Thanksgiving. They said, after this Sunday, they said, your administrative leave ends, and this is not going to be workman's comp. This is not going to be any type of disability. You have to use your sick time and all of that because this is a pre-existing medical condition because of you being in the military. And and they said, "Good luck. I hope you can figure this out."
Wow. And yeah. So it was basically your paramedic job, fighting, and everybody's just trying to pawn it, is what it sounds like, right? Pawning it back on the military, saying it's pre-existing. Is that fair?
Yeah. And then after about a month of fighting back and forth, I tried to get that criteria from them. I was like, "Hey, can I have the criteria to return to work? Can I have the criteria to return to work?" They actually stated to me at one point, they didn't have any criteria for me to return to work. They just have to get my doctors to say I'm good to return. I was like, "Well, my doctors can't return me unless they have a criteria." So, and ultimately, with speaking with me and my wife, after everything that was going on, we thought it was in the best interest that they were just trying to push me out. And with the amount of stress and everything that they were putting me under, that me and my wife decided, it was just better if I resigned because it was just making things a lot worse. And because of all that, they ultimately, because they couldn't terminate me because of my PTSD, because it's covered under the ADA, but they made my life hell to make me resign. And I think that's what their goal was. And I've heard that from, ever since starting this organization, I've heard that from a lot of people, that this has kind of been this stigma that, oh no, we need to, it's a liability. And that's what that's why I started this, because I even went to the county commission and told the commissioners, hey, this happened to me, this happened to me by your human resources. And they said, well, we've got nothing for you. And then a month later, that's when I started C2C, because I was like, you know what? They're not going to do anything about it. I have to do something about it. I have to go higher than you. I have to get the attention of my state representatives, my congressmen, my senators, to try to say, hey, we need to put these protections in place. So these veterans, because if it wasn't for my wife and the support system that I did have, I'd be dead, because they had no support system. They pretty much said, bye, have fun, and I knew I had PTSD. Many people are really too proud to admit it, or, that may have been that one straw that broke the camel's back, because I was lucky enough that my wife was working, but especially right after that, COVID started hitting. So people started losing their jobs left and right, and that could have been that one straw that broke that camel's back. And, they could have ended up dying by their own hands because of it. And then I expressed my concerns to them, and they were like, oh, well, we understand, but, and I was like, all right. Then, and that's when I was like, you know what? I can't just sit here and talk to you about it. I have to do something. I have to change something. So.
Yeah, no, and that's great information. You made some statements in there that I want to follow up on. I take this subject matter seriously because I have obviously, am on my paying job as a full-time law enforcement officer. So PTSD, I want to ask you a couple questions. I think it varies to certain degrees on areas and things like that. But I have seen, obviously, several people that I know have to leave early because of PTSD. Of course, our military, our vets, our first responders, and all that kind of stuff. It's funny to me, and listening to you, that in this day and age, and I'll tell you, I've been a law enforcement officer for 25 years. I have seen some things change over time. But it still surprises me to this very day and age that it's still not treated, and it's still a very kind of mystery to a lot of people, and they just want to push it around and punt off. Let's put it this way. If I break my leg, right, everybody knows I have a broken leg. It's very tangible. Yeah. I broke it on the job. And we're supposed to be all, and I see it, and they give us some training and stuff these days, and they're all pretend. I shouldn't say pretend. I should be careful what I say here. They want to do it, and they want to have the resources for you, and they want to treat it. And they say all the right things, but then when some of the people I know that have been through it, when it comes down to it, it doesn't always work that way. And so it seems like still to this day, which doesn't make sense to me, because I've been around a lot of it, that there's a stigma attached to it. Do you think there still is a pretty heavy stigma for some guys to come forward, and it shouldn't be that way, right?
Yes, I really do. Because me and one of my buddies, he does suffer from it as well. And we talk very frequently. A lot of people that I used to communicate with very frequently, after I left that job and they knew what happened, it was like, no. It was like I had the plague, and which kind of hurt me, because you think you have that brother and sisterhood in that job, because, we have to protect each other, but it was kind of like, whoa, what the heck just happened? It's not like PTSD. You can't catch it, and unfortunately, I talk with a lot of people, and I think what you're talking about with the change with the PTSD, I think a lot of, I know here in Florida, we do have PTSD laws. However, they only accumulate it to one call. If you see one horrific accident, well, it doesn't boil down to that. It's many buildups. It's this buildup of crap. And then sometimes it's just got to fall down. And, it's these 50 calls that finally break you down. It's not just that one, it's these 50. And then that's when they're like, oh no, but it's got to be just one. And that's when and everything's so subjective. It's so open to interpretation. And that's why so many people just fall through the cracks, like what happened with me. They were able to push me out they found a way to do it without violating any laws.
Right. Well said. Yeah. That's well said. And I've seen that. So, I can say that it's got better. I'll tell you, and I'm sure you saw some of that. When I first got in law enforcement, you did not talk about any of that. You went, you shut your mouth, you went to the bar, with your buddies, and that's where you could talk about it with your buddies. If you want to call that a debriefing, that was an unofficial debriefing. Maybe not the right way to do it, but that's kind of how it did. And then I have seen it transform over time. To now there are some resources. And the thing is, it varies heavily throughout the nation, and each department.
It really depends on the state. Like I know, like here, we're very lucky here in Central Florida. We have UCF restorers. They are absolutely phenomenal with PTSD treatment and first responders and veterans. But that's not obviously you don't have access to that. All the way where you're at. And that's what's so bad is these small little towns. We have vets and we have first responders that suffer from these conditions, and we need to make sure that everybody has the same access and treatment. From literally C to C, that they can have these resources. If you're in a small town or a big city, it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have these problems, when you put like I emailed you, when you walk out of your house to go on duty, you don't know if you're going to come home. Putting that uniform on, and same thing with a firefighter, same thing with a paramedic, same thing with an EMT. They go and see things that no human being should ever have to see. And when they finally say, hey, I need help, or, hey, I finally wrote my breaking point, they're like, oh no, it wasn't us. And that's where it's kind of like, buddy, come on.
Yeah. And so I think it's fair to say, and I love your cause. It's a great cause. I think that we've made progress, but it's clear, case study that we have a long ways to go to treat people better with dignity and respect who suffer from PTSD, because like we've already mentioned, to a lot of people, it's just not as tangible as, oh, he had a heart attack. We get that, right? The doctor can look in, he can see your heart's bad, put a couple stents in. Oh, he's healing. Everybody understands that. But boy, when you get up here in the mind, a doctor can't put an x-ray on there and go, oh yeah, he's got this. And so it's this, it can rather be mysterious. And so it can also be very frustrating for the people going through it, that there's not, you can't just look and go, yeah, you've got a compound fracture. Very simple. We put a cast and there's procedures, right? It's very different. It's a very unique area in medicine. But they've got a long ways to go even from the area I'm at, although there's resources. Like I say, they still talk about a lot of stuff, but, about having certain debriefings after critical incidents, but those don't still happen, even though they say they're gonna. I've been to homicide scenes and there's been no debriefing.
Oh yeah,
whatsoever,
exactly.
So
and I've talked about that too. And I think truly, I don't even think it should be with a supervisor or anything like that. I think it should be with a trained mental health provider, either that day or next duty day. I think it should be with someone that's trained in it, and not, let's share some war stories. Well, I saw something worse last 2 years ago, because we know how some of those debriefings do go sometimes.
Correct. That's a good point. Or
usually it's just war stories.
Right. They do some debriefings around here on some incidents. That's kind of pick and choose which ones. At least they'll have, and I was a peer support team member for a long time. So that's why this is kind of near and dear to me too. I spent quite a few years within my department being a peer support team member, somebody that somebody could come talk to, but I'm not an expert. And you still need like professional help, but it is nice sometimes, sometimes a guy just needs to talk to a brother, and it doesn't, and that just makes him feel better, and it doesn't go any farther than that, but there is the time and place where you got to implement these services. And it sounds like you have some of those in your area. I see, obviously you're passionate about this, and rightfully so. Because a lot of people will be in your position. We know there's just different types of people. There's people that will be in that type of situation, and the very tragic things will happen. Suicide rates and things like that. And then there's people like you who go, I'm a fighter, and I'm not gonna. This is the route I'm going. If nobody else is going to change this, I'm going to try to change this. So I'm more than glad to help you promote this ride, which I want to dive into a little bit deeper now that we've got some of that out of the way. I think I could really talk about that subject for a long time. So thanks for that. Hey, Bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero 3D has just what you're looking for. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome, black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing, more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team with over 40 years experience with a passion for design and innovation. CAN bus made simple with plug-and-play lighting systems. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them. Sales at zero3d.com. Give them a call. 715-808-0027. Check at your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, Bikeaholics, so check out Zero 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for Honda Goldwings. Help support us right here. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already. Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials, and it's unlike those gel pads that will leak if punctured. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around in your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans, and helps to dampen vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our lineup of butt buffer seat cushions. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special. You can't find it anywhere else. Yep. And these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack Quick Attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. The PTS ride details. All right. It looks like you're going to ride, and we'll break this down a little bit. I do want to say, you're riding from Florida. In your bio, it says, the bio you sent me says you're riding from Florida to Tacoma, Washington, but the website says you're riding from Florida to Seattle.
Yeah, it's because technically it is Tacoma, because I was going to ride to the Seattle dealership on the other one, but destination Tacoma, just in case I end up running into any hiccups on my way due to weather or anything like that. They are open on a Sunday. So it is going to be Tacoma. So
there you go. So we cleared that up. So I'm going to take that Seattle out of my notes because I got to do show notes on this. Oops, dang it. I mean to do that. All right. So Florida to Tacoma, Washington. And you mentioned in here that obviously you're going to ride the Low Rider S. What's the I got to ask this. This is okay. Let me just I've done my research here a little bit. So you leave June 20th and arrive in Seattle on June 26th. So 7 days. So mark that, guys. June 20th, leaving Florida, arrive in Seattle on Tacoma. Now that we got that squared away, Tacoma, June 26th. This is a 3,049 miles. That's 45 hours if you rode it straight. So 7 days, my calculations are, which we do this all the time, reasonable days are 400 to 500 mile days if each day was the same. I know that doesn't really. And you're doing this on a Low Rider S. What is am I clear on my calculations there? Does that sound about right? Okay. How long have you ridden this Low Rider S so far? Because I know you can do it.
You're definitely. I've ridden it is about 300 miles.
Wow. You are in for a ride. What kind? You got a custom. I'm just being serious. You got a custom seat and stuff.
I actually just got sponsored by Saddleman.
Nice.
So I have that coming in. So I talked to them on Wednesday. So
very, very nice. I'm glad, because that'll be crucial, obviously. And not that you can't do it. Like I said, I think you're younger than me.
Oh no, it would suck on that stock seat.
That's some grinds. We ride that in the summers. We ride those days, and sometimes even a little more than 500, depending on the trip. But even on a touring bike at my age, those can be pretty grueling. So good on you, man. That even makes it more spectacular, fighting the cause. So good on you. So by the way, do you mind revealing how old you are? You don't have to.
Oh no, I'm 33.
Oh, I knew you were a lot younger than me. See?
Yeah.
Now I got more confidence that you can for sure, man. You'll be fine, right? Oh, I remember when I was 33. Okay. So now, can you talk about the ride a little bit and the details? There's some ways, like the way I understand it, and maybe you can clean this up for me. But each day, I'll put links in the show notes for you guys, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode this number is. But if you go to your website, it looks to me like you've got it broken down. And each day that you ride, you've got the details of like where you're going to, so that maybe in the morning you're going to stop one place, and then you're going to stop somewhere. Clean all that up and really give the audience an idea of what's going on there.
Yeah. What I have it done is because my bike only gets about 200 miles per tank. And I want to get up and walk around just like everybody else. And number two, I want to try to get as many people involved as possible, because one of the big things is I know, like, perfect example on day one, I'm starting in Leesburg and ended up in Chattanooga, Tennessee. No one's going to go, hey, I'm going to go from Leesburg to Chattanooga. No one's going to do that. Very few people are going to say, I'm going to do that. But what I do is I broke it up into legs. So like my day one, leg one, I'm leaving at 8:00, I'm getting there at 8, kickstands up at 8:30, and I'm leaving Gator Harley and going to Gainesville, Harley-Davidson, which is roughly like 100 miles away. And then I'm going to be there for like 45 minutes. So if people only want to ride to Gainesville, hey, they can only ride to Gainesville. Or if they want to ride up with me to, like my next point is going to be Tifton Harley up in Tifton, Georgia. If they want to continue riding, further north with me, they can, they're more than welcome to. Or, they can only ride from Gainesville to Tifton or any other of the legs. I broke it down where people don't have to do the whole ride. They could only do like 100 miles or 150, just because people can't, they don't have the time because they may have to work the next day, or B, they just can't do that long of a ride, or they don't have the time. They don't have the money. They just don't, it's just, they can't do it. So I broke it down into smaller little rides, and it is free. I'm not asking for any money. You just jump on the ride. And if you could, you're more than welcome to donate. It would be nice. You click that donate button up there. It actually goes to One Team, One Fight for PTSD. I don't touch any of this because I'm not a 501c3. I'm doing this for One Team, One Fight. They are a local PTSD organization that does a lot for the veteran community here. And they're actually working on getting a farm right now for equestrian therapy. They're also donating money right now to a hops farm that actually helps veterans get back to work and help with PTSD therapy and help them get skills so they can work again by helping them learn to grow hops and everything like that. So, he just saves he just gives to the veterans. And that's who I'm raising this money for. I don't touch any of it. So you can pick up any little leg. All the event details is on Facebook. You can follow it. Granted, some things may change because of COVID restrictions or, weather or anything like that. That's why I would, if you're gonna do the ride, just say you're gonna do it on Facebook. So if I need to go in and update it, you'll get the alert that if anything changes, because unfortunately I can't predict Mother Nature. And if it's hailing outside, I can't get on my bike. That's just not, as much as I want to fight for a cause, I can't kill myself either.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. Well, that's interesting information. Maybe I missed that. So I was under the assumption that they could just, like, you're going to be at a Harley dealer at some point and they could meet there. They can do that too and then leave.
Yeah. They can just come out and say hi. They don't even have to go for the ride. They can just come out and say hi if they want. They don't even got to join on the ride. Just come out, say hi, but I'll be there. If you want to come out for the ride, you can, or if you just want to come out and say hi, you can.
Is anybody going on this ride with you the whole way? Like support or anything? Just you?
Just me.
You couldn't rope anybody else into it, huh?
No, not yet.
Oh man, that's messed up. Okay. So they can ride certain legs of the trip with you and they can break off when they want to or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it seems pretty free. And it was good. I did look at the Facebook. If you go to the website, guys, we're actually looking at it now. If you go to the website, you can go down and he has each day, like day one and the date, and then where he's leaving, where he's going to. And then under there's a map, there's a facebook.me. There's little links that take you into Facebook that'll show you where he's going to be at a certain time. So if you want to get behind it, and that, is there like, you guys doing a raffle or anything, or people donating prizes or anything like that too?
Right now, that's only for my local run.
That's okay.
Unfortunately, because I can't really carry them. Right now I'm getting some stuff from my local run that's on June 19th, the day before. So that's going to be my big local run. So kind of a kickoff bash type thing.
Okay. Very cool. So the way this is being supported, for you, because there's costs involved, because you're going to have to do hotels and meals and gas.
Me.
That's you. You're self-funded. Mm-hmm. I know what that's about.
Yep.
Okay. So you're self-funded, and then so you're paying for all that, all the is it just strictly through donations, and it's one team? Sorry, one team what?
One team, one fight for PTSD.
Okay. And so they're collecting the money for you. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Well, it's all good. It's like, if I raise any money, if anything, this money is for them. So that's the organization I'm raising the money for. So, that's because I'm not a 501c3, because I just did start this roughly 3 months ago. I don't want any involvement with money. So I say, just if you want to give to the cause, if you want to give to C2C for PTSD, go directly to One Team, One Fight and give it directly to them, because that's who cut out the middleman. Just go directly to them.
Okay.
So,
well, I'm hoping for good weather for you. It looks like you're rolling through somewhat our neck of the woods. Yeah. It looks like the from Three Forks, Montana to Moses Lake, Washington. Moses Lake, Washington is like an hour and a half east, kind of northeast of where we are. And I'll have to look at schedule and that kind of stuff and see where my regular paying job schedule is and vacations and all that, to see if that's something I can bite off. I'd love to help you with that, but hopefully this podcast will help to get the word out for your event and stuff like that. So Moses Lake, that's not a huge town, but we actually boat there. We go boating there. Have you ever been through that area?
I have actually never been to the Northwest.
Wow. You're going to love it. It's beautiful. You're riding via I-90, and I know this is a destination ride, so you're not going to be able to get off the beaten path too much, but there is some absolutely gorgeous riding around here.
Well, I know for sure I'm going to make sure I go see the Mount Rushmore while I'm out there. I have to.
Nice. Yes. When you're, exactly. Yep. When you're in South Dakota, you got to go see that. And the Black Hills you're going to ride through. Yeah. South Dakota. That's some beautiful riding too. So you're going to see a lot of country. So you don't have any support. What you're hoping?
I do have.
If you break down or something.
I do have sponsors for the bike.
Okay.
I actually have a lot of sponsors for the bike. They have done a lot for me for the bike. I have Progressive Suspension. It's actually given me front and rear suspension for the bike. Makes it ride beautifully. Performance Machine, Burley Brands given me a bag. That's for the Sissy Bar. D&D gave me sponsored me with a 2-into-1 Bobcat exhaust. It's phenomenal sound, chrome. It's pretty. Viking bags with some saddle bags, Custom Dynamics, KST Customs, Black Hills Harley-Davidson, and Gator Harley. Without them, a lot of the stuff wouldn't be on the bike and built for comfort, because I'm 5'10", and, without KST, Gator, and Black Hills, I wouldn't have the 12-inch the 12 ape hangers on the bike. And I couldn't lean forward that whole bike. That whole with the 3-inch. I just couldn't have done it. So
yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you're getting set up. I'll reach out to you because I don't want to ask you on the podcast. What we'll see. I'll email you and see if there's something that we can assist with the bike. If there's a product that would be useful to you. But again, I don't want you to have to commit here. So I'll reach out to you afterwards on email and see if there's something that Law Abiding Biker store can help you with comfort or getting through that trip. So now one more thing I want to talk about here. You mentioned that there's you mentioned a network of bikers or something, or is this just what you're calling basically? In your bio, you talk about you want to create a network of bikers.
What I want to do is on this Facebook group, the C2C for PTSD isn't going to disappear after this ride. This page is going to be available for everybody. And my other website, the C2C for PTSD.org, this isn't my website. If you looked at the top where it says veterans and first responders, if you're in your area and you have, certain PTSD resources in your area, I would absolutely love for you to send them to me, because I could start doing it in a geographic location where, hey, you're suffering in Washington State. Here's some resources. You're suffering in Rhode Island. Here's some resources. I would love this website to be to a point where it's a resource for every veteran, every first responder in all 50 states, where they can go, I need help, and it's one click. Because you go through a rabbit hole on Google, you type one thing and 12 different forms pop up, and that's the same thing I want with the Facebook group. The Facebook group, the Facebook page, I want somebody to go, hey, I need help. Hey, I'm having a bad day. Can someone contact me? Either through the messenger or, hey, I'm so-and-so. Hey, I'm here. Do you want to meet up somewhere? Do you want to talk? Hey, text me or meet up on Messenger or some talk on Messenger. It's pretty much because I was part of a group called I Got You 6 on Facebook as well. And it's a group that we pretty much, if someone's having a bad day, you just reach out to them. I don't even know the person, but if you're having a bad day, you just talk to them and say, hey, man, what's up? Because sometimes that's all they need. Even if it's a perfect stranger, what's up? What do you need? And that's what I want this to be. I want it to be a network of not only bikers, I want it to be a network of medics, of EMTs, LEO, firefighters, and unfortunately with COVID, I have a big thing. I think PTSD is going to be starting affecting our nurses here soon. So our nurses, anybody that's affected by PTSD, this network needs to be here for them. Doesn't affect just veterans and first responders. It affects everybody, so we're here to help. That's what I want it to be. I want it there. If they don't have a support system, we need to create a support system. Yeah.
Well said. Is there anything else here? I want to mention, if you guys want to get involved again, I'll put the links in the show notes, but just to put them out here, I've got a tab up. You can just go here's the website. It's CSEA, the number 2, then CSEA, the number 4, then PTSD.org. So C2C for PTSD. But if you forget that, again, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode number this is. Of course, on your apps, I'll have it in your show notes with an easy link. And I won't even, the Facebook page, you can get to the Facebook page, I think the main website. Any other things you want to throw out there, resources or things you want to say to the community before we wind down here?
No, I just want to say thank you, Ryan, for having me on here. And also, hey guys, biggest thing is don't suffer in silence. You know, it's reach out to somebody. There is someone that cares, you know, I promise you, you know, and just ask for help. Go to my page. I'm here. You know, I don't sleep very good at night anyway, so just message me. I'm usually up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time, and I'm up at 6. So I'm only not available for about 4 hours a night. So, you know, just if you need help, just message me on Facebook. I'm always here. So, you know, we just need to take care of each other, because if we can't take care of each other, no one else will. So.
Well said, man. Thanks for taking the time, and we wish you the best of luck in your cause and your ride. Ride safe. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
All right. There you go, Bikeaholics. What a great interview. What a fabulous cause. And of course, Law Abiding Biker Media here. We'll be emailing on the side. See what we can do, maybe hook him up. I know he's getting a new seat, but a butt buffer on top of that seat would be amazing, because it doesn't matter how good your seat is, the butt buffer just adds that much extra in comfort and to avoid those pressure points. Y'all know what I'm talking about when you're on mile 500 on day 6 and you're just like, God, that place on my right cheek is just killing me. And so you put weight on your left cheek, and you maybe push back. Of course, you see some guys stand. You all know what I'm talking about. The butt buffer can really, really help with relieving some of those pressure points. So, of course, we've got them right in the Law Abiding Biker store. That's one. Heck, maybe he needs a biker gripper cell phone mount, because he's going to have to be connected, riding that many days that long, connected back home with his family. Of course, to stay awake, want to probably be listening to some tunes, catching up on episodes of the Law Abiding Biker podcast would be my recommendation for sure. Maybe he'll need a biker gripper. I don't know. We've got a lot of products, maybe some cleaning products. His bike's going to be dirty when he gets home, of course. We could hook him up with that. He's already got suspension. Sounds like he got hooked up there, but maybe we'll throw him a t-shirt too or something. I don't know. Anyways, we got a lot of ways. And of course, what a great cause to support, guys. You realize the importance. Of course, we have a large portion of our listening audience are first responders or vets, which, like I said up front, we heavily support our vets and first responders. And we've all, if you've been in these careers at any time, you've seen somebody go through mental illness, maybe not necessarily PTSD, but other types of, depression, anxiety, and other mental illnesses. And we've all, of course, seen unfortunate suicides within our industries. Of course, it's just tragic. And so the more awareness like Ronald here is doing is amazing. And that's why I jumped on it when he emailed me. I was like, heck yeah. He just emailed me generally, and then I said, hey, how would you like to just do a podcast? Because I think this is a great cause, and I love getting this out to the law-abiding biker community. We've got the platform here, of course. We do all that. It's heavily supported by our patron members. Our sponsors is why we're still doing it. But because of that, I'm willing and able to share the platform. I do all the tech. I get it going. Everything that goes behind the scenes, and I can get people on this platform to spread the message to the entire biker community. That's what we're all about here at Lab Media. So thanks, guys. Thanks for your continued support. I just wanted to tell you that's the reason that I'm able to do that, and I'm more than willing for the right causes, the right reasons to share this awesome platform that we've all built. Not just me, we've all built, you included, over the past 8 years. Ride safe, guys. Peace.